I'm your host, Sheida Rad, and joining me all the way from Rome is the super insightful Massimo Caputi.
Hi, Sheida. Nice to see you. We are ready for a new episode in the interesting final rush of the season.
Exactly, final rush of the Europa League. And I would like to first start by congratulating Atalanta that with a stunning 3-0 win, historical win. They crushed Marseille last night, and they're going to meet Leverkusen in Europa League final in Dublin on May 29th. I think that Atalanta fans are going to remember this season for a long time, isn't it, Massimo?
Yeah, it's true. After Fiorentina, we have a second team in one final of the European competition. This is Atalanta. Congratulations to Atalanta. An amazing result. Is the first final in the history of the club, the European final in the club, in an amazing final of the season for Atalanta, because we play against Bayer Leverkusen in the final of Europa League, but also in the final of Italy Cup against Juventus in the next Wednesday. And so at the same time is fighting for the position in the next Champions League. And so for Atalanta is an incredible result. Congratulations, played very, very, very well, and destroyed Marseille, Olympique Marseille.
Yeah, and so they haven't won a trophy since the Coppa Italia in 62-63, isn't it? So
but
very important, this one.
Yes, I believe that Atalanta and the fans of Atalanta remember this season, and but I believe that also in the future Atalanta will be one of the best team in Italy. I am sure, because the club is solid, and so the team is strong, and is the politic of Atalanta is a model for Italian football.
Yeah, I mean, and Gasperini today was also praised for the perfect use of substitution, because basically one of the reserves, Bilal, he scored the third goal for Atalanta after coming off the bench. So I wish we could say so.
Yeah, but this is the team is large. Gasperini has many important players on the field, on the bench, and the substitute are strong. Has the lineup, no? And so this is important, especially when you have more matches, more competition. This is the truth. The Atalanta is strong.
Yeah, Atalanta is going strong. Well, we have to also talk about the not very happy match of last night for me.
Roma was unlucky for because was near to the Enterprise, no?
Yes.
For the Sporting Enterprise, and 2-0, and but
we bounced back. We managed to bounce back. That's the thing.
But the truth is Bayer Leverkusen is stronger than Roma. This is the truth, and we have to recognize this because play well, and Bayer Leverkusen at the moment has 49 consecutive positive results, and is amazing. No way for Bayer Leverkusen, and the episodes sometimes are decisive in the football. In the first game, the mistake of Karsdorp, the mistake of Abraham at the end of the match, and also yesterday the autogol of Mancini. But at the end, we can say that Bayer Leverkusen is stronger than Roma, but Roma demonstrated personality and sacrifice and character. Yes,
we managed to bounce back. I mean, me personally, I never thought that we could come back from that 2-0 down.
I believe
but we did.
Yes, in this moment of the season, Roma is tired because the team is not so large, and the substitutes aren't in the same level at the same level of the titulars. No, they
of the main players. Yeah. And we could see that last night as well.
Yes, for example, when Spinazzola was injured and Zalewski was the substitute, Zalewski played very bad. And so when you have only 13, 14 important players and the other aren't in the same level.
Even Osmoon, I have to say. I mean, I know that he's Iranian, is my co-national. However, his performance wasn't that good.
The first penalty was for Osmoon, the fault.
Yes. But besides that, I was honestly expecting more because he's in the Iranian national team and he does really well there. But, I was at least expecting more from him. Well, it went as it went. But I have to say, we are so lucky to have Zviller. Because if it wouldn't have been for him, we would have had many other goals, unfortunately. But Zviller is really, he demonstrated to be like a top.
Zviller is a great goalkeeper and saved a lot of occasion yesterday night. And so I believe that Roma has a great goalkeeper for the next future.
Yeah, we got to just keep him. Now, Bayer Leverkusen, they hasn't only stopped an all-Italian Europa League final, but they also prevented Italy from getting the 6th Champions League spot next season. Well, at least for now. Depending, of course, what is going to be the next results for Atalanta. And so, what do you think about that?
At the moment, Roma, the Serie A is incredible because in the next round we will have Atalanta-Roma, and is an important match a big important match for the qualification for the next Champions League. But Roma, I believe, will be a fan of Atalanta for the victory, because if Atalanta will win, Roma could have the right position for the next Champions League, and Italy could have 6 teams in the next European Champions League.
This should be brilliant. Which would be brilliant.
The important at the moment is the next match.
Match day. So between Atalanta Roma that you just mentioned, who do you see favored? Because both teams are very tired and they're coming from big matches. Atalanta won in Europa League. Roma didn't. But how do you think it's going to affect their match in Serie A?
Atalanta in this moment has a great happiness, and Roma is very sad, and so we don't know what could happen in this match. Atalanta play at home. Atalanta is favored, for my opinion, and also my cat is the same opinion about this.
Exactly.
But at the same time, Roma knows that have only one chance and a great chance to beat Atalanta, and to have the hope for the qualification, independent for the result in the final of Atalanta against Bayer Leverkusen. It's a tough match. It's an interesting match. And I believe it will be a great match for emotion, for feeling, for occasion, for opportunity for both. And so, my opinion is a match of to have to say, to have to see, because will be great.
Okay. Now, then, in match day 36, we're going to have another big match, which is going to be Napoli-Bologna. Who do you see favored in this match?
If I see the past, I have to say at Bologna, because Bologna play well, has a great feeling, and wants to reach the qualification for the European for the Champions League. But at the same time, Napoli play at home and have to save the season with a great match in front of the fan at the Maradona Stadium. It's very difficult to have a prediction and a right prediction for this match. Probably is a draw, but at the same time, for me, the favorite is Bologna.
Okay. Now, the last time that you said draw, you nailed it, about Roma and Juventus. You perfectly, which I said I would go for the draw instead of a loss, and you absolutely nailed that one. Luckily. Okay, then now, last but not least, it's going to be Frosinone-Inter, which Inter is coming from actually a very surprising match from a loss against Sassuolo. I mean, who would have thought that? Now, do you think they're going to bounce back against Frosinone, or Frosinone could have a chance?
The fight of Champions League as interesting as the fight for salvation, now for save the season for relegation. But in this case, the very important match is Inter Frosinone, because Inter lost against Sassuolo, and it was a big surprise. And I believe that Inter don't play the same game, the same match against Frosinone. In this case, it's not so good, for the relegation, for the fight of the relegation, because if you lose against Sassuolo and you play well against Frosinone, for someone could be strange, But my opinion is that Inter will play very well, and so for Frosinone is hard, and is
they have the winners.
In my opinion, Sassuolo e Udinese for both teams is very difficult to save, but is normal that the result of the next round, for example, Lecce Udinese and Inter Frosinone, will be two important results for the fight of the relegation. Yes.
Okay. And now, awesome. So these were the matches that I wanted to discuss. But then I would like to also close by just mentioning that we had one change in the top five of the table. So Inter is still at the top. Obviously, they won it. And second comes Milan with 71 points. Juventus, 66 points. Bologna, 64. And the fifth team is not Roma anymore, but it's Atalanta. But we have the same points. We have 60 points, both of us. Both Roma and Atalanta. And this match, that's right, this match this week is going to be so important.
Yes, absolutely important, especially because because Atalanta have one match more to play against Fiorentina, and probably this match will play at the end of the Serie A, and so this is not so normal. And in fact, we have a lot of polemics about this.
Yeah, a lot of controversies. We'll see. I mean, as long as Roma finishes in the top 5, I'm happy. If not, I'll be a little disappointed. But anyway, when you love it.
But it will be very, very difficult. It's not so easy for Roma.
I know, unfortunately. Anyway, is there any other thing that you would like to add?
No, it's okay for this episode, and we are ready for in the next week. And I am curious to watch what's happened in this round.
Yeah, well, we are at episode 33 today. Not many to go.
We are old.
Yes, we actually made it to episode 33 of this podcast. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed and happy about this. But we're coming back for the next season, isn't it?
Me too.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, then. Thank you so much, Massimo. As always,
bye.
It's been brilliant.
See you in the next episode.
And thanks for doing it. See you next week. Well, thank you for following us, and thanks for watching this episode. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Till next week, have an amazing weekend full of goals, and see you next week. Bye-bye.